Welcome po to LIRA in Law. Thank you very much for joining me for our usual Thursday get-together. I'm broadcasting live as usual from London, England. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat of Douglas Simon Solicitors. I am a solicitor of 36 years. 36 years? No, 34. Gosh, I'm losing track of my years. 34 years post-qualification experience in the UK, although saying that, so that's just post-qualification. So if you take into account my years in studies, which was 3 years, and then further 2 years training, and for, of course, the year to qualify as a solicitor to do my solicitor's finals, then you are actually looking at 40 years in law. But post-qualification experience, as I say, 34 years. And I appreciate that some of you who's watching now may not have been alive 34 years ago. So anyway, I'm hoping that you will find our broadcast as usual to be of help to you, your family, or friends. Sharing is caring. So if you have any family, friends that you think may be helped, by our show, send them the link. So salamat po ulit for joining me on this kind of springy evening. Always nice to be able to go out and then and it's not raining. Kung umuulan, it's okay. Kailangan naman natin ng ulan. Yung nga lang, it's nice also have a bit, drier evenings. So today, actually, so as I say, I'm broadcasting live from London, England, in the leafy suburb of Richmond, where my office is also. So it's quite nice, actually. It's been a nice day and nice evening. Long may it continue. Long may it continue. Now, so as usual po, ang process natin is we look at questions that have been put forward by you. And from those questions, we choose a topic. And the topic today is the ever-popular and the ever-relevant issue of married in the Philippines, divorce in the United Kingdom. And again, yung galing yun sa inyo. So let me just read to you briefly yung question nung viewer natin. So let me just take you through that. So sabi niya, gusto ko sana magtanong tungkol sa divorce ng kasal ko sa Pilipinas. Okay? Alam ko pong walang divorce sa Pilipinas. Pero may mga Pilipino po kasi na nagpa-divorce ng asawa nila doon at saka nagpapakasal sila dito sa UK. Would that mean po ba na hindi na honor ang kasal ko sa Pinas? Great question. Really loaded also, with issues. Then of course, it means titingnan nga natin ano pang sitwasyon nga sa atin, the issue of the marriage there, the issue of the divorce there, the issue of the divorce here, the marriage here, and what do you do next, So it's a great question. So kahit maigsi nga lang question niya is actually loaded with issues. So yung pong topic natin mamaya, Well, ngayon, So I hope that you'll be able to join me throughout. And kung gusto niyo akong batiin nga mamaya for our batian section, please do. That's my favorite part. So we're going to take a quick break. Saglit nga lang po, and then we're going to return and launch into our major topic. Divorce, married in the Philippines, divorce in the UK. Saglit nga lang po. welcome back po. Welcome back to LIRA in Law. Thank you very much for joining me again. Ang pangalan ko po, Lira Simon Kabatbat. I am your host tonight for LIRA in Law. I am a solicitor of 34, get the years right, 34 years post-qualification experience. Abogado po ko. My firm is based in Richmond, London. We are the end of the district line, actually. So if you're ever down our way, say hello. No? Topic po natin nga ngayon, ever relevant and so complex and challenging issue of married in the Philippines, divorced in the United Kingdom. The many times I'm asked about this, it's probably one of the, if not the most popular issue that I get asked about. Maybe equal measure as say applying for children to join you in the United Kingdom, but certainly this is top 3 in the way of issues that concern people in the UK, Filipinos nga in the UK. So yun po, and this as usual is from it's a great question nga from one of our viewers. So let me just summarize nga yung question niya kanina. So tanong niya divorce, no? Kasal siya sa Pilipinas, alam niya walang divorce sa atin, sa Pinas, pero ang balita niya, may mga Pinoy daw, Pilipino daw, na nakaka-divorce sa atin, tapos nagpapakasal sila dito sa UK. Ibig bang sabihin, sabi niya, yung kasal niya sa Pilipinas, kung gawin niya nga ito, hindi na ma-honor sa Pinas. No? So, yung nga sabi ko kanina, it's loaded with issues. No? So, una nga, can you divorce in the United Kingdom? So, kasal sila sa Pilipinas. Can you divorce in the United Kingdom? Is divorce valid in the Philippines? No? Or indeed, can you divorce in the Philippines? That's actually one of her points. No? Is it valid in the UK? No, because the parties were married in the Philippines. If you actually get divorced, can you remarry in the UK? That's often this issue often comes about when there's a when someone has struck up another relationship, no, and they want to marry nga in the United Kingdom. Sometimes it doesn't need to be that, but most of the time it's preceded nga by a plan to remarry in the UK. So titingnan nga din yon natin, no. What happens if you're not British? No, you want to divorce pero hindi ka British nga dito. It could even be that you don't have indefinite leave to remain. It could be that you have limited leave to remain. Dito ka nagtatrabaho, you have a visa pursuant to the points-based system. Or, in some cases, no leave at all. So, TNT kayo. No? So, yun ang titingnan nga natin ngayon. Now, bear with me. It's a big topic. No? And again, thank you very much for the viewer who posted the question. So, she's married in the Philippines. Can she obtain a divorce in the Philippines? The answer is no. There's no divorce nga in the Philippines. So, alam nyo naman, there's such a thing as an annulment nga in the Philippines, but not a divorce. I'm aware, and I'm sure a lot of you are also, that there was bills have been introduced with the view to introducing a divorce in the Philippines, but that so far has not happened. So you cannot legally divorce in the Philippines. No? I know it may come across that way because they're able to marry in the UK, pero hindi po yung divorce sa Pilipinas. In the Philippines, it's not so much dissolve, but for a marriage to end, it's by way of an annulment usually. Okay, and also annulment has different connotations to that of divorce. No? Now. So, hindi po yung una mong tanong, can you divorce in the Philippines? The answer is no. But that's not the end of it, by far. Okay? Sabihin natin, in the case of our viewer nga, nandito ka. Dito ka na nakatira. No? Sabihin din natin, hindi ka pa, we put aside the issue of your visa. But I'm going to tackle that later on. No? Pero sabihin natin, either may visa ka, wala kang visa, so all of that. So we'll put that to the side. Pero dito ka na nakatira, this is, as they often refer to it, this is now the UK is now your home in that sense. No? This is the center of your world. Dito ka nakatira, nanditong partner mo, baka may anak kayo, no? Dito ka nagtatrabaho, So the UK essentially is your home. So you are what could be termed as what's called habitual resident in the UK. Ibig nga lang sabihin, habitual resident is dito ka na nakatira. This is now your home. No? And habitual residence is not dictated by your status, no, immigration status. It's more a question of fact. That is, are you actually living in the United Kingdom? Ito na ba, dito ka na nakatira? Ito ba, not so much bahay mo, but is this your home as opposed to your house? No? Okay. So yun. If the answer to that is yes, the UK is now your habitual residence, then it's entirely possible, more likely than not nga, that the court dito, mga korte nga dito, will have the power, the jurisdiction, no, to look at your marriage. It doesn't just apply, of course, to Philippines, it applies to other countries. The same initial questions going to be asked. Are you habitually resident in the UK? If the answer is yes, kahit kinasal kayo sa atin, kahit nandun ang asawa niyo pa rin sa atin nga, no? Kahit wala nga tayong divorce sa atin, then you can petition for a divorce in the United Kingdom. Alam niyo naman, nagbago na nga din proseso and ng batas to do with divorce that happened, I think, in April 2022. Okay, so not too long ago, no? But in a sense, it's been made simpler. Applications now can be made online, for example. Gone are the fault-based divorce basis for divorce nga. It can even be a joint application, but I'm not going to get into that now, the process. But needless to say, you can, as I've said, petition for a divorce in the United Kingdom. Anong kailangan nyo? You need your marriage certificate, no? O marriage contract, ang tawag sa atin. So yung galing nga sa PSA, no? The Philippine Statistic Authority, yun ang kailangan nyo. Now, so you can issue divorce proceedings in the UK kahit kinasal kayo sa atin, kahit nandun ang asawa nyo sa atin, no? And it doesn't matter if you are man, woman dito, no? As the petitioner or the applicant now for the divorce. Now, you issue the divorce proceedings, and let's say it's granted, no? So you get then, in the olden days, the decree absolute. Nowadays, it's called the final order. Dito nga. Once you have the final order, that means in the United Kingdom, and actually most other countries, apart from the Philippines, that marriage is dissolved. No? That means that you can, under UK law, marry in the UK. No? Remarry in the United Kingdom. Now, is that divorce, so sabihin natin nakuha niyo yung divorce, is that divorce valid in the Philippines? There are ways of getting the divorce recognized, as I understand it, in the Philippines, but it's not automatic nga, and it depends also kung status nyo, or anong status nga nung asawa nyo nga dati, did you marry a foreigner, that sort of thing. So, but the divorce generally, so if you generally would not be recognized nga in the Philippines, okay? But that does not mean that you can't then, that it's not recognized in the UK, as I've said, and certainly other countries nga. And there's then also the issue of remarriage. So sabihin natin divorce na kayo, no? It's not valid in the Philippines, as I say, but it is valid in the UK, as long as you, of course, you follow the correct process, that you issue the application properly, you serve your ex nga properly, they reply or indeed not reply, but if they don't reply, you follow the proper process and ensure that actually the divorce procedure, no, that you're compliant with the divorce procedure. Now, let's say you're then divorced in the UK. You then wish to remarry in the UK. Can you do it? No? As long as the divorce is valid in the UK, you can remarry in the United Kingdom. And that second marriage, if you like, no, will be valid in the UK, but be careful, it doesn't mean, and it will not be valid in the Philippines. So you have here then a clash of jurisdictions. And there are, I'm aware, potentially legal consequences now in the Philippines, not least of which is bigamy. If it comes down to that, but so be careful if this is the route that you're going to take. But if you ask, if you remarry in you divorce, you remarry in the UK, is that remarriage valid? The answer is yes. So it will be valid as regards, say, immigration. If you're saying that you are the spouse of your say British partner, or indeed whatever their status is. So you would also be, it would also be valid as regards, say, inheritance provisions. Are you then a spouse? The answer is yes, you are a spouse. You're married, and that may make a difference as regards inheritance law, or indeed inheritance tax. It would also be valid as regards, say, tenancy law. In some cases, some people can inherit, if you like, for want of a better phrase, I can't think of a better word really for it, the secure tenancy. So that would also be valid. So it is valid. You are a spouse in the United Kingdom. But beware, as I say, that's not the case in the Philippines. So kung meron kayong mga mana sa atin, o kaya meron kayong mga accounts nga sa atin, or properties nga sa atin, you need to take separate legal advice nga, from someone who is qualified in family law nga sa atin, because it could be that they would advise you about applying for recognition of the divorce granted in the UK, say in the Philippines, if that's a possibility, because there are quite strict requirements that you would need to satisfy in order for that process to be applicable to you. Okay, so now, oftentimes it's the issue of, can you divorce, can you then marry in the UK or remarry in the UK is complicated by immigration. So the issue of family law and immigration with a lot of cases go hand in hand. So sabihin natin nga wala kayong visa. Can you remarry in the UK even though wala kayong visa? Again, the answer to that is yes, you can. So kung British nga kayo, o kaya you have indefinite leave to remain, or you have limited leave to remain, or indeed you don't have a visa, that TNT kayo, overstay na nga kayo dito, you can still remarry in the UK, but the registrar, and by the way, if you want to know what the conditions are when you're looking to marry in the United Kingdom, look at our show last week. I take you where I take people through what's the process now for marrying. Now, let's say you want to marry in the UK. Can you marry in the UK? The answer is again yes. Kailangan nyo pakita, of course, yung marriage contract nyo. Kailangan yung divorce document nyo, either the decree absolute or the final order. Those are a must. Okay? And then you can marry in the UK. So it's not, it's a bit more, there's a bit more actually to it than that. Depends also, of course, kung anong sitwasyon nyo. Kung wala ka nga kayong visa dito, kailangan nyo mag-ingat because, of course, the Home Office, not the Home Office, the registrar will say to you, they need to inform the Home Office of the fact that you're intending to marry. That's their job, that's part of their job, I should say. And so they will likely do that. Kung wala nga kayong status, kailangan nyo mag-ingat. And if kung yan sitwasyon nyo, ang payo ko, you should see a solicitor before undertaking that step. Because it could be that you're advised to make an application before. If you're going to make an application before, what's the timing like? Getting things now ready. So all those things need to be looked at in advance of you meeting with the registrar. And it doesn't hurt also to obtain independent legal advice, especially kung itong sitwasyon nyo, given all the complications that come into it. as I've said, jurisdiction issue, clash of jurisdiction. There's also the immigration issue. Of course, there's the family issue, all of that. Ang payo ko, nothing beats independent legal advice. No? You can meet with a solicitor on a fixed fee basis, for example, so it doesn't have to be anything substantial at the beginning. You can just speak with them about itong sitwasyon. How do you apply it to my case? No? So it is one of those areas truly that's probably one of the more complex areas, but also one of the most relevant areas, scenarios that I come across very regularly. No? So good luck to sa viewer nga natin at salamat po ulit for posting your question. No? It's a great question. I hope that's helpful to you. Can you let me know, what you then decide to do and what happens? I always say, I'm happy, of course, to deal with questions nga, but nothing beats truly a one-to-one advice, no? So kung ano man sitwasyon nyo, even if you think it's simple, ang payo ko, seek independent legal advice, no? Because I can only tell you in general terms itong sitwasyon, but there may be other things that needs to be taken into account, which obviously I'm not privy to at this stage. So yun ang payo ko. But anyway, so it's importante po you seek independent legal advice. Salamat ulit, no, to our viewer who posted the question, because it's a great question. And not surprisingly, it was our star question. No? Now, we have other questions, by the way. So we have spouse visa application questions nga, questions about children coming into the United Kingdom. We have questions about e-visas or entering the UK, where you've been given a visa, but that visa is expired. So we have other great topics to deal with. So hopefully you'll be able to stay for the next bit. Now, I hope that there are people now who want to say hello. If there are people, Miss Diesta, you're number one today, huh? Lorna Diesta. Good evening, everyone. Samia, happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, madam. I hope you're enjoying this kind of springy, springy evening, di ba? Alas 8 na, but hindi pa madilim, no? I hope you. Lagi ka nagtatrabaho. Miss Diesta is always working. Miss Rubio, Leonora Obaldo Rubio. Miss Rubio, good evening, everyone. You see this picture of Miss Rubio? She actually looks that stunning in real life. Okay, Nora. She's lovely. She's lovely. And her whole family, Miss Jones, Marilyn Jones. Good evening, Attorney Lira, sabi niya. And all viewers, looking forward to another interesting topic by a lovely solicitor. Oh, Miss Jones. I have known Miss Jones for, 20 years na? No? Tama ba? Oh, 20 years. Outcast. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Outcast. No? Kamusta? I hope that you kumain ka na? Nice topic, very interesting, sabi niya. Yeah, it's a great topic, it's one that always gets me quite exercised, no? You probably have noticed I get quite passionate about it, because with some topics, with some questions, you have one question. It's certainly not a simple question, but you have one question, one focus. Ito, yung topic nga natin ngayon, it has, parang simple nga lang unang-una, but it mushrooms, into other issues, which I like a lot, So again, I can't thank you enough for posting out the question. Egay, the great guy from London. A warm Thursday to Attorney Lira and to the viewers. I work in Canary Wharf today. Good news, Attorney Lira. I'm ambassador of Tap Send remittance app. Use Egay the guy as promo code for first-time users. Looking forward to lots of learning again, and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egay, the great guy. Egay is a great guy. I mean, he's a devoted dad to Justin. And he's always working, always, Miss Rafael, Emmeline Rafael. She's feeling good because look, caps siya. Ha? Hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, and happy Thursday to everyone. Happy Thursday po, Madam. Are you well? We're nearly, it's in June. June is Wimbledon, no? Watching from Epsom. Oh, I know Epsom. Oh, okay. Are you okay? Why are you in Epsom? No? Are you visiting mga kaibigan mo doon? So normally, she's in Wimbledon. Miss Jones, maybe more than 20 years. Oh my gosh. Talaga? Wow. I think tama ka, no? It could be, Miss Jones, no, na we're over 20 years. Oh my gosh. Tanda na natin, no? But it's all good, no? With age comes, if you're lucky, experience. And no, of course, no, it's there's, and I've been in practice now. No, I've been in law now, double that, 20, so 40 years now, no? Anyway, so let's go back to our questions because we have quite a few to get through. So yeah, now. So this again from one of our viewers, sabi niya, good evening po. Magtatanong po sana ako. I don't know if possible po ito. Kasi nandito po ako sa UK under spouse visa. Okay? Gusto po namin kunin ng asawa ko yung anak ko sa pagkadalaga. So she had a child when she was before marriage nga, no? Without marriage. So ask ko lang po sana kung anong visa pong dapat i-apply para sa kanya. Kasi pagkakaalam ko, pwede po siyang sanang isinabay, no? Kasabay nung nagpasok siya ng application. Tama ka, no? May option doon, apply as a child to apply or as a parent. Nalilito po ko kasi sana po masagot nyo para malinawan po. Salamat. I'll do one better. No, I will show you I'll show you in a kind of slides nga, no? So let me just summarize. So nandito siya, meron siyang anak sa atin. Yung anak niya sa atin, hindi anak nung asawa niyang nandito. Ang visa niya dito, spouse visa siya. So ang tanong niya sa akin, yung anak niyang naiwan sa atin, nung nanganak siya, nung dalaga siya sa atin, pwede ba niyang kunin dito sa UK? And kung pwede niyang kunin, ano bang proseso, no? So I think ito the confusion or the concern is to do nga with the online application. Alam niyo naman ang application na the applications are now submitted nga online. Unang-una, tama ka, no? Nung pumasok ka nga dito, pwede mo siyang isama nga sa application mo. No? But obviously, you didn't do that for whatever reason. Now, I'm assuming also na under 18 nga yung bata. The reason for that is usually those children under the age of 18 are the ones considered to be dependents. If you're over the age of 18, then it could be a different law. No? Now, so tingnan nga natin. Let me just show to you let me take you through the online application. So ito. So makikita nyo dyan, family visa, no? If you go to the Home Office website, if you just Google, no, UKBA or Home Office, no, or apply for visa, ito makikita nyo. So family visa. So you have to maneuver through, no, the website nga nila. So sa taas makikita nyo family visa, no? Family visas apply, extend, or switch. Now, you will see, most of those things are in blue. Makikita nyo in black nga, apply as a child. You click on that, okay? So you then brings down, apply as a child nga. Now, tapos, you'll see there, immigration rules, granted before the 9th of July. Obviously, that's not applicable to you, okay? And then midway through, makikita, if you're the child dependent of a parent who is applying for, okay, already has permission to be in the UK as the parent of a settled child, you cannot apply on this form. You must apply here, for example, no? So you then you then, where it says here, before you start, read the guidance to find out which kind of application you're submitting. Now, alam ko, yung sitwasyon mo, visa mo dito, spouse visa ka. But of course, you're married to someone who has indefinite leave to remain, or indeed British nga dito, no? Sabi mo dito. Now, so the button to click, no? So let me just take you through there. So the button to click is the one that says, so it says before the start. It's the one at the end, no? Alam ko hindi ka British, no? But of course, yung asawa mo is British. So you click that button, no? British citizen settled in the UK, or in the UK for another reason. Yun ang kailangan nyo, no? You click that. Now, then also, you will find, they'll bring you to another section, and then it says here, there's a bit there, join or accompany a family member. You click that too, all right? Tapos makikita nyo doon, as a family member of, and then it says there, British citizen or has limited leave to remain in the United Kingdom. That is the section that you need. Once you click that, makikita nyo, okay, which country, where are you? Where are you coming from? You know, where's the application going to be? And you type in, of course, Philippines. No? And then you click on that, and then they ask you, where do you want to do your biometric, for example. So it takes you through the process. So the application, therefore, going back to your question, your application will be under the family route. No, ang application ng anak mo, I should say, will be under the family route. It's an application. So it's the family visa application. It will be on the basis of the fact that he's joining you. Now, most of the time, dito nakakalito nalilito mga tao. Your application, even though, of course, it's a spouse application, when you initially make the application, makikita nyo doon with the view to settlement, because that is ultimately what you can get, under that type of visa. So don't be afraid of where it says settlement or settled in the United Kingdom. So, but that's the section you need to complete. Okay, there's a fee to be paid. Yeah. Of course, and then there's also the IHS, the Immigration Health Surcharge. It's very likely, and they should give him a visa that it tallies with yours. No, so it should really be that, rather than 2.5 years ule. So you probably got a visa for 33 months. So they should also get. So the visa of your child should also magkakatugma kayo. It should be that, which means that the IHS may have to be will be recalculated nga, no? Because he won't get a visa beyond yours, because you are, of course, the main dependent, if you like, no? Pero ang visa bibigay nga sa kanya is same as yours. So ibig sabihin, pagka nandito siya, when you apply, kailangan mong din siyang isama. Now, one of our questions, and so I won't deal with the documents that's required, because one of our other viewers asked the question. So hopefully that's helpful to you. But let me know what happens. Truly, it's very much like reading a. I very much appreciate your questions. Happy to read it through, and where I can point you in some direction, in the right direction, I will do that. But no one ever tells me what happened next. It's like reading a book and not knowing what happens next. So please do tell me what happens. Now, another viewer posed this question. So sabi niya, good day. I would like to seek legal advice. Be careful, because what we do here is not legal advice. You should seek absolutely legal advice where you have a legal issue. But you should seek independent legal advice. Nothing beats face-to-face. So you should do that. So so the question, nevertheless, is to do regarding an FLRM. FLRM means spouse. No, it's the form. No, FLRMM for marriage. Spouse visa application with a dependent child, no? So very similar to our initial viewer. initial question, sponsored by a British partner. My son is 9 years old and is currently studying in the UK, right? Could you please advise on the required supporting documents that need to be submitted for a dependent child as part of the FLRM application? Thank you very much, sabi niya. Great question, actually, no? Because because you're told, and it's easy enough to see, kung anong kailangan mong dokumento in order to submit an application as a spouse. But it's actually not separately noted what do you need to submit for the child, no? Now, I'm assuming here that the application, you're making an application, kasama nga siya. So your child will be included. So the application is actually, you complete one application and your child is part of that application. But you need to complete it with your facts. Now, question more, which is a fair enough question. It's a good question. Is if you're submitting your documents and you're complying with the requirements as a spouse, anong kailangan para sa kanya? No? Yeah, as I say, it's a very valid and good question. What I normally submit for the child is, of course, yung birth certificate ng bata. Of course, that would be galing as a PSA if the child is from the Philippines. Of course, passport ng bata, no? So passport should be valid also, no? Now, as a general rule, to show that the child has established or establishing private life in the United Kingdom, at saka nandito nga siya, I provide normally school reports, no? From the time nga na nandito yung bata. So school reports is a good thing nga. So it adds to your to support your contention, your submission that your child is actually in the United Kingdom, and of course. Anyway, you already have submitted, of course, the compliant with income, which now is £29,000 if you applied on or after the change in the law, which I think was December 2023. Kailangan, of course, the accommodation, which again you will have submitted anyway. Bear in mind, meron kayong anak, so we're not you need to show that the accommodation is also suitable for him. Okay. So you have the income, you have the accommodation. Those two satisfy or would hopefully satisfy the financial requirement. Make sure na yung bank statements mo, no, na meron kayong papakita na pay slips, no. It's April now, and so you probably have a P60 also. So if you like the documents na kailangan yung pakita o bigay in relation to your child is really not so much, because you already have given that in relation to your application. Kasama nga lang siya. Pero huwag mo siya kalimutan, of course. And don't forget, he also needs to pay the IHS fee, no? Separately. Well, on top, I should say, not separately, but on top of that, any IHS that you're paying. And of course, the home office fee also, okay? Good luck. I hope that goes well. I'm sure it'll be fine. Yeah. But as I say, kung hindi kayo sigurado, you must seek independent advice. Truly, nothing beats independent advice. You'll feel better for it, and you don't want to get this wrong, okay? Because if you get an application wrong, at best they reject it and they give you time to correct it. But at worst, it could be that it cuts the continuous residency in the United Kingdom. So I can't emphasize it enough. Seek the independent legal advice. Now, next question po natin. Sabi niya, dependent po ang visa ko na na-approve po nung January. Okay. Congrats, no? E-visa na po siya. Wala nang vinted na 3-month entry rule. That's true. Okay? Dati, tatak nga sa passport nyo, no? But now it's e-visa nga. Tama ka. Sa kaso ko po, dahil mahal ang ticket, tama ka. At saka tumataas pang presyo, no? Kailangan po pong mag-ipon ng husband ko, kaya na-delay yung pag-alis ko. Okay? Ngayon po, lagpas na ng 3 months na mula nung na-approve ang visa ko. At baka July pa po ako makakapasok sa UK. Ano na tayo? April na tayo, no? Gusto ko lang itanong kung kailangan ko po mag-apply ulit ng panibagong visa o maari po bang gamitin ang visa na na-approve na sa akin. Hindi ko po kasi alam kung saan magtatanong. Well, happy to assist. No, it's not a new application. So ngayon, tama ka. Dati, tinatatak nga nila sa passport mismo yung visa. And then you have to leave the country within a certain amount of time. Ngayon, nagbago na, tama ka ang proseso. It's now e-visa, and that's why you have e-visa. Now, you clearly already have an e-visa account because otherwise hindi mo makikita yon. So, ang kailangang mangyari, you need to so you log into your e-visa account and get a share code, okay, to prove your immigration status. Yung e-visa, as you know, it shows your identity and yung immigration status mo. It includes, what rights you have in the UK. So the share code, kailangan mo yon when you travel. You also need the share code for other things, like for employers and landlords, but you also need that to travel. So mangyayari, you get a share code. When you get to the airport, they will ask you for your date of birth. You don't need to show them your e-visa, but they will so at the airport they will check it. No, so bibigyan mo yung date of birth mo, and then the person who uses your share code, will see some of your personal details, not all your details, but some of them. So bibigyan share code mo is still valid because it's valid for 3 months, not for 90 days, okay? And then your date of birth, share code will last for another 90 days. You can use that share code before it expires, of course, no? And then you can get, but if it expires, you can get a new share code, no fee, okay? Whenever you need one. So yun. So hindi mo kailangan panibagong visa. It definitely you get a share code. So you just log back into your e-visa account, no? Yung data before, no? Remember, you had to upload your photo nga. There would have been a link also sent on your mobile phone. So yun nga. So you don't need to apply for another visa. That visa is fine. Just beware though. Kung natagalan ka nga, when you're making an application later on for an extension, of course you make an application for extension when your visa, before your visa, it's also, it's not, it's better now, it's simplified now nga, the e-visa. So hopefully that's not nga an issue. Now, I do hope, I don't know if we have any other greeters, titignan ko, but otherwise, now let me have a look. Tingnan na nga natin kung meron pa tayong mga ibang greeters. Miss Giling, the lovely, lovely Miss Giling. Hello, good evening po, ma'am, and happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, Miss Giling. I hope you're well. I hope your family is well. Miss Giling is lovely. She truly is hardworking. No, she's one of the most hardworking people I know, and she's always so very generous. So Miss Giling, when she comes back, she's always bringing me things like bagoong. Miss Nadella. Oh, we love Miss Nadella. No? Hello, Attorney Lira. Sabi niya, hello, madam. Are you well? Nandito ka, no? Yeah. No, look, uuwi nga kayo. Ingat nga lang, ha? Ingat nga lang kayo. Dahil the world is a challenging place nga at the moment, no? So, kung meron kayong balak magbakasyon, just be careful, no? Be careful. Lots of delays I gather also from at airports nga, no? So let me just see. So it's now. So look, salamat po for keeping me company. I've so enjoyed nga, no, being with you, and I hope that you'll be able to join me again next week, no, for our usual Thursday get together. Kung meron kayong mga tanong, gusto niya akong batiin, no? Please do say hello. Pero meron kayong mga tanong, email it to me, no, to LIRA in Law, and gagawin ko, I'll, of course, as normal, we'll put it together, and then hopefully from there, we can choose a question, yung star question nga natin, no? Gusto nyo malaman yung star question natin in advance. We try to post it on Wednesday, but otherwise Thursday nga, no? It's kind of a surprise. That's because I'm waiting really for the topics that are coming from you, because I want our show nga to be relevant to you. Okay. Salamat po uli, and thank you ever so much for keeping me company on this spring evening nga. It's always a pleasure nga to be with you, absolutely. And I hope that you have enjoyed our stint together. I certainly have, as usual, no? Salamat po ulit. I mustn't forget also to thank the Facebook groups that allow us to post our contents on their pages. Again, salamat po. And absolutely big thanks to those people who sumusubaybay, and those people who take their time now to post their questions. Now, it just leads me really to say, I hope to see you again next week. Same time, same place at LIRA in Law. Good night.